2005, John Giuca was wrongfully convicted for the murder of Mark Fisher, who was discovered shot dead in the Prospect Park South section of Brooklyn. Controversy arose after Brooklyn's DA office came under fire for a spat of wrongful convictions involving District Attorney Mike Vecchione, who also led the investigation into the Mark Fisher homicide. John Giuca's case makes its way through the appeal process after 3 out of the 4 prosecution's witnesses have recanted their statements, and alleged prosecutional misconduct by ADA Anna Siga Nicolazzi. 10 years after the verdict, the case against Giuca is falling apart, possibly adding to a long line of overturned convictions from the era of the disgraced former district attorney, Charles Hines.
We'll take questions.
November 13th, 2004, John Avito was arrested for burglary and thrown into a 60-man dorm in Rikers Island Jail while awaiting sentencing. December 21st, 2004, John Giuca is taken into custody and accused of the Mark Fisher murder. It was a high-profile case and was in every newspaper and on every news channel. John Giuca and John Avito are held at Rikers Island. They don't know each other. February 8th, 2005. John Avito pleads guilty. He gets 18 to 24 months in a drug program. The judge tells him if he violates any rules at the program, he will be sent to prison for 3.5 to 7 years.
John Avito was a career criminal and had been arrested over 20 times.
John Avito absconders the drug program and uses cocaine. A warrant is issued. Realizing the long prison sentence he now faces, Avito reaches out to District Attorney Anna Siga Nicolazzi, who is investigating John Giuca's case. September 2005. John Giuca is taken to trial. His trial attorney, Sam Gregory, suspects the prosecution witness, Avito, got some sort of benefit for his false testimony. He repeatedly asks the prosecutor to come clean and admit she gave him a deal.
The problem I have is that when someone like Mr. Avito violates the program, especially with a record like he has, and I've been around here too, and I know 1 breaks, 2 breaks, but when he's out on the streets after the history he has, both criminally and in this particular case, and they are bringing him into the court, it seems to me that the DA doesn't ask for a bail in the part, and the buck sheet says nobody had requested bail. And then they represent trying to get him sentenced, and he's not being sentenced. Something is going on here. I can't prove what is going on, but something is happening here to protect him.
The prosecutor ridiculed Sam. Anna Siga Nicolazzi denied giving the jailhouse informant, John Avito, a deal for his testimony.
Nicolazzi goes even further and vouches for Avito's credibility. John Avito's testimony directly contradicts other prosecution witnesses. Anna Siga Nicolazzi never clarifies it was her who went to Avito's court hearing and got him another chance. John Giuca's trial attorney could not argue that the jailhouse informant received a benefit for his story because he didn't have the proof. After John Giuca's civil rights were violated, he never stood a chance. In 2014, John Avito recants his testimony and said in a sworn affidavit he did in fact get a deal.
I am 43 years old. I make this affidavit of my own free will. Nobody has provided me with, or promised me, or anyone else, any benefit or consideration in exchange for my executing this affidavit. I recognize the significance of this sworn statement. Making this statement is not an easy thing to do. In sum, I acknowledge that I testified falsely at the trial of John Giuca in September 2005 in an effort to help the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office, the DA, secure an important conviction in exchange for the DA's help in keeping me out of prison.
The job of Anna Siga Nicolazzi is to seek justice, not to obtain a conviction by any means. And Anna Siga Nicolazzi should have known he was lying.
A spokesperson for the District Attorney Association of New York sent the I-Team a statement stressing a legal error in a case is not the same thing as those few cases where some courts have found willful misconduct.
The idea that people that are committing wrongdoing and violating defendants' rights is offensive to any system of justice that the public expects.